What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Jay Free.
And this is Marley.
And this is Her Perspective.
We all have opinions and different points of views. Perspective is a particular attitude towards something or a way of regarding something. Join us as we sip and say what's exactly on our minds in a conversation we call Her Perspective.
Today, we're going to talk about the women having a list for a man and all of her criteria. So what do you guys think about having a list? What do you think about having a list?
Having a list when you're meeting someone?
More like when you're dating and you have these things that you want him to check off. Maybe a certain height, a certain build, certain kind of wardrobe. Do you have a list?
Okay. So I did at one point in life. I had a list, and because I think it's very juvenile to have it. Now I think that because I'm older.
Right.
Back then.
You didn't think so?
Back then I didn't think so. I'm like, you gotta be 6'3".
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a six pack.
There's nothing wrong with that list so
far.
Right.
All of these things. But the older I've become, the less strict or particular I am in certain things that my man has to have. Because I'm not perfect. Okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I never will be perfect. I have flaws. So I would want someone to love me for me here versus here. You know, the outside, all of that is good. It's, whatever. You want to walk into a room and be like, oh, we stunting. But I'm older now. Right. So the things that used to matter then, they don't really matter so much now. It's a perk. It feels good when you can look at them and be like, ooh.
Thank you, Jesus.
But I want what's here.
Right.
So I think that, what about you? Do you have a list? Or have you had a list? Or do you still have a list? Because I know some of my friends who are my age, 40 plus, and they still have a list.
I'm not that age.
Girl, you get in here. Stop playing. Don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people. We don't lie to the people.
Hey, people. Do you have that friend that puts you on blast unnecessarily? I do. Go ahead.
But do you really? Do you still...
Tell me.
Okay, so the question that you asked me, did you have a list before? And do you have a list now? And if you still have a list, why?
I don't know. I don't even think I'm in a space right now of having a list or wanting a list or needing a list. I did, though, and it used to be a requirement to be a certain height, a certain build, play a certain sport.
Really? A certain sport?
Yeah, I was always really attracted to athletes. I found athletes to be very attractive. I'm transitioning from athlete to nerd now. Like I'm finding that I kind of want a smarter man.
Yeah, that's what is attracted to me.
Attracted or attractive?
Attracted. Like super smart. I don't want to say super smart, but guys who are more intellectually smart than me, that's weird. They're attracted to me. And I wonder why sometimes.
I don't think that that's a bad thing to attract.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's something I've noticed.
I get the missing teeth one, so I would run with the nerd. Missing teeth? Yeah. But I think having a list only means that you know what you want. I don't think it's a bad thing if it's realistic.
Right, I can get with that.
I think some women go a little extreme, though. Do you have any... Did you? Because you don't really have the list anymore. Did you ever have any extreme requirements on the list that looking back at now, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I had that as a criteria?
Nah, no, because so full disclosure.
What about the shoes, sis? Tell them about the shoes, sis.
Full disclosure, teeth are really a big deal for me, but I have settled for a man who maybe treated me well, but his teeth were, and I feel so bad for saying that.
No, that's not bad.
I feel bad because I just feel like if you don't take care of your mouth, there's certain parts of you that if you don't take care of, I feel like you're not going to be able to take care of me. If you can't take care of the thing closest to your nose, you're not going to take care of me. I'm sorry.
That's actually pretty funny. But okay, so what about a man taking care of his home? Because we've been programmed to believe that men are not supposed to be as tidy. And so like when we meet a tidy man, we're like, and he's clean, as if that's some accolade or like something like, whatever. Yeah. When you get with a guy or if you're dating a guy and he is not as clean, how do you feel about that?
I walk out the door.
Really?
I will never Never. Like when I say ever, never. No. If your car is nasty,
okay,
that's very indicative of how. Like my mother used to always say, and this is something that goes with women. She was like, if you can't bend over to wash your feet, anything that's above that is nasty. This is closest to you. So if you can't bend over to wash your feet. I don't want no parts of that.
Okay, so
I want no parts of that.
If his home was nasty, you would leave.
Walk away. I'm not sure. First of all, no.
Okay. Would you tell him? Would you?
No, there's no telling. Like if we on a first date type of situation,
okay, first date, yeah.
You invite me to your space, and I walk in and it smells like gym shoes and gym socks, and I go to your bathroom and everything is yellow,
filthy.
Then I'm like, okay, it was nice. Bye. It was nice meeting you.
Now, what if you dated this person for a while, long distance?
What?
And then you get introduced to all of those maybe bad habits later. What do you do? And you really like the guy.
No, so how? I never understood how. I never understood how you could be clean on the outside. Like when I meet you, you dress nice.
They got
you
suits,
smell good.
Right? They got the good cologne.
Yeah, edge up is always fresh. Like everything is put together. But then when I walk through your door, that don't go together.
Okay.
So if I've dated someone ever long distance like that, and then I met
the other side of them, it's just deuces. Conversation?
Yeah, no.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. I don't have time. Like, and I'm old now, so I don't want to have to deal with all of this. I don't. I just want somebody who's already there.
I agree, because I think that sometimes which is why I think the list is good. I think there is a point in your life when you just realize what you're willing to compromise with,
right,
and what you're willing to not compromise with,
right.
And I think there is no right or wrong, or nobody's influence really should matter. It should be about your own personal preference, what you know you can tolerate.
Right.
If you can't tolerate, like I know for a fact that I cannot tolerate someone walking around a dirty hotel room, let's say, barefoot, and then getting in the bed. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
They gotta wear socks all day.
You got to put something on your feet in the hotel room, because a hotel room has had animals, sneakers, probably spit, maybe even urine. Who knows what other things are on a hotel room floor? And then for you to put that on some clean sheets that we're going to lay our bodies onto, I can't do it.
But how do you even know those sheets are clean?
No, I don't. I'm
just bring your own sheets?
No, I'm just giving you not my extreme, but my portion of it. That's okay. So I can't deal with that. And so they need to either have on flip-flops or wipe their feet off.
Do you think having those type of expectations or those type of lists prevent us from, say, for instance, finding our mate or soulmate? Because we put those things out in the universe, subconsciously or consciously, we put it out there like, okay, so I want to marry this. He has to do this, and this.
No, I don't think so.
So you could meet that man.
Yeah.
He could walk up into your face and be like, I'm your soulmate.
Yeah.
But because he's not 6'3".
So that's why I said at the beginning, I don't necessarily have one. Because I'll just...
Now, I know some of my friends who still do.
I'll conform them.
What?
Yeah.
Like change them?
Not change. That sounds... People don't like that.
We can't.
People don't like that word.
We can't change them.
I don't want to change them. I just want to expose you to a different perspective, and then have you adapt to that perspective. If I'm being real, I'm going to introduce you to slippers, and you're going to walk with slippers in this house.
They not a man who's grown into him full self. He's not going to allow you to change him.
And that's why I don't use the word change. I say, I'm going to expose you.
What does conform?
To a different perspective.
What does conform mean?
It means he'll adapt to a different perspective. And I think that's because, like, okay, you ever been in a situation where you're with a friend or dating someone and you pick up a new habit? It can even be a word that you use. I know if I'm talking to one of my cousins, she has a phrase for everything, and I'll pick up phrases. You know what I mean?
Okay.
If, let's say, we're talking on the phone, we might have a phrase for everything that only we can bring out of each other. It's the same thing when you're in a relationship. You pick up little habits from each other. They're going to pick up that habit from me. I'm going to pick up a habit from them. My habit will be slippers in the house. Thank you very much. Have a great day. I don't think anything is wrong with that. Fellas, call me and let me know if that has ever been an issue.
Yes, please call my friend.
Let me know, because they never complain about that. The only thing that they ever complained about is the phone. So I don't think cell phones, because they go with people everywhere, which is gross. I'm an OCD kind of person, germaphobe. I don't do phones on kitchen counters. I feel like that is a tad bit nasty because I cook on the kitchen counter. So I do not want your phone or your keys or all that stuff on the kitchen counters. There's a place for it. It's called a table.
Bathroom? No.
No, people take their phone into the bathroom with them. And so I'm saying, and they take it to the gym, put it on the floor. They take it to the office. They put it in the car. The phone goes everywhere. And then you bring that phone and put it on the kitchen counter and leave it there. And all I think about are the 100 dust little mice jumping off and running all over my kitchen counter. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I can't eat no more. So bleaching is essential in my home.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't want your cell phone that's been everywhere with you on my kitchen counter. So that's not a list for me because...
No, that's an expectation.
No, not even an expectation. It's
you expect them to be somewhat in your realm of OCD.
No. They don't, because I feel like a list is prior, like in advance. This is a mandatory, like when you become one. Jay. What about you?
But he's going to have to learn that. They're going to have to know this about you prior to you becoming...
Or not. It's going to subtly happen one way or the other. It's going to happen with a conversation or clear guidance. Or it's going to happen.
Conformity.
Something. Right. Okay, so you mean to tell me that you're so flexible that you ain't never had a rule that you had to have a man...
Nah, I'm flexible now because
adapt to
the different people that I've had in my life and just growth in and of itself. Like, I feel like some of the things that I thought were so important, they don't even matter. Like, even in the grand scheme of things, they don't matter now. It's like, okay, fine. Like, I used to be like, my kids, their room, you can't walk into my house and it's this. People who know me from my past, they know that I'm a very neat and clean person. But now, like, after having 3 kids, I'd be like, all right, I can sit here for 5 hours and just see toys on the floor.
Right.
And not be, so those type of things, even with a man, girlfriends, whatever the case may be, because I know at one point I wanted to have girlfriends who were of the same caliber as me. And that's that was a thing. You know what I mean? But now it's just like everybody's different. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody is unique. So
which is still of the same caliber in a different way.
Yeah, but when I say wanted to have that surrounding and that clique that was like dressed like me, vibe like me, you know what I'm saying? Height is me. Like when we all walk into the room, we like. Right. Not no more. It's like it is what it is. You are who you are. I am who I am. Yeah. We gel, we mesh, fine. Our relationship can grow beyond what it is. You can be your individual, I can be myself. And
so you just like you've evolved a lot more, and
I really have. I really have, and I think I really came into the full knowing of who I am after my 40th birthday. It's crazy. I just told a girlfriend of mine that I was like, I don't think I fully grew into the woman that I am and was meant to be until after I turned 40.
That's crazy you say that because on Oprah years ago, this lady said the same thing. She said it was around my 40th birthday.
I don't know what it is though. What is it? What
I ain't hit that birthday yet. So when I hit that birthday and I become so smarter and I don't care about phones in the kitchen, I'll let y'all know. Until then, don't bring your phone in my kitchen counter. Okay. No. But in fairness, I personally think it's cool when people have boundaries. I like knowing that you have a limit or you have boundaries, and I do too.
Right.
And it almost forces a certain amount of respect.
Yeah.
About yourself and about others. And so like I don't let people wear shoes in my house.
Yeah.
That's not because I have a list or an expectation. It is what it is when you come in my home. Right. I don't do germs. Right. I don't want, there's probably 1 million in there. I don't want the other 1 million that I can prevent.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. That makes
and
sense.
Living in Japan, well, we live around the corner.
The custom was to take your shoes off.
Even in the business.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if a whole country, a little million people can take off their shoes before they walk in to pay their electric bill, we can take off our shoes at home.
To come, yeah.
And the reason why they did it was to keep the home clean.
Right, sacred.
And I'm like, wow, if they can do it, so can I. And ever since then, I feel so much better. If I do walk around my house with no shoes, I'm like, whoa, it ain't been no outside stuff walking around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with the growing and the adapting and the change and being a little bit more flexible, do you ever feel too flexible? Do you ever feel like it's...
No, there's some things that I won't compromise or
like what?
Just I can't think of anything right now off the top of my head, but there are some things that I know that I have slowly become flexible with in my life when it comes to certain situations and or relationships. But there are some hardcore things that I don't think I
I thought you were saying you didn't have anything that you were hardcore on. You were flexible on everything.
No. I'm not 100% flexible on everything. But the list, the things that we were talking about, bringing it back to that list, those things I'm not
hell-bent on anymore.
Nah, I'm not. Like, I want full happiness.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just want to feel free.
Right.
And in a space of just, I can fully be myself, and then that person coming into the situation can fully be themselves without feeling like, oh, I gotta change and I gotta move this way and shift this way because she doesn't like it.
Right.
Nah, just do you, be you. Like how we talked about, I think it was in the first episode, whoever you introduce me to,
just stay that person.
Be that person.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So I'm almost hearing, in some regards, neither one of us have a list in this moment because we found, for whatever reason, that it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know, either you're gonna, in my case, maybe we'll use the word conform, but that's not really what I'm saying, gentlemen. We'll say conform, or in your case, maybe it's I'll be flexible or whatever it is. But either way, we don't want the list right now. It's not as important as peace, happiness, consistency, all of these other things that are more important to us in this stage of our lives, right?
Yeah. I'm not in the business of trying to change anybody.
Right.
You are who you are.
Or in the business of looking for things that are temporary.
Right. Absolutely.
It's more important to look for things that are meaningful. And to us, those things are peace,
love,
happiness,
yeah,
respect.
Absolutely. 100%.
How you make us feel.
Right. 100%. 100%.
So you're not wrong for having a list if that's what you decide, but consider maybe reducing the list to things that actually are meaningful, like peace and respect and love, not so much the superficial. Would you say? Would you agree?
I agree with that. I can't knock anyone who does have a list because I once had one. But coming into the full knowing of who I am as a woman, I know that list was not something that would be conducive to my growth. So I had to dial back a little. But if you do have a list, like Jay said, just make sure it's something, especially when it's dealing with someone else, it's character and person, make sure it's something that's going to be, what is the word I'm looking for?
Value added?
Value added.
Yeah.
Something that would add value to who you are as a person. So yeah, I think that's good.
And I would even challenge the women. You know, you may not have this epiphany on your 40th birthday. You know, you may not have this aha moment like some of our friends have, but that's okay. Because if at any point you realize that, you know what, I'm looking for quality and I want to transition out of looking at what kind of car this person is driving.
Right.
That was a big thing.
What type of job they have.
What kind of job.
How much money they make.
Do you make? Right. Women, you don't have to wait for the man to buy you things. You don't have to wait for him to buy you the drink at the bar or take you to dinner. You can treat him.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that next time.
Yeah, we will. Definitely. Okay. That's good.
Catch us next time.
That's good.
Cheers.
Hey y'all, if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share our channel. And if you want to hear our perspective on any particular topic, just send us an email or leave us a comment below.